Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
We are Working Class Nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right, we are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, April 21st, 2022, and you can find this 149 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the galaxy far, far away. You can also watch me terribly fail at legendary lost sectors Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
You can watch me play video games every single Monday night at twitch.tv/NickVern51.
And guess what? We're both on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at Nick Vern, that's Nickver. And in this week's episode, we're talking with Free Ride Games. Free Ride is a Destiny streamer, Twitch partner, and has an epic, super amazing community. So thanks for coming on the show, Free Ride. And what have you been up to?
Everything. We are constantly busy in the Free Ride community, whether it's Guardian Help, whether we're doing charity events, whatever the case may be, between working a full-time job and streaming. I think it's fair to say everything covers the basis.
Oh, yeah. The whole multiverse of activities.
I'm telling you, it never slows down, man. Breathing comes second nature. Work comes first.
Yes.
Oh, let me tell you.
Marcus knows about that.
Yeah. When you work full time and then you come home and then you stream for hours, like by the end of the night, I'm just like zombified. That's how I know when it's time to turn off the stream, when I'm just like, ugh.
I wish I could say the same. It's, if I work 8 hours and I put another 6-7 hours after that, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know if it's the energy. I don't know if it's just the excitement of it. And, I've been going for 2 years now. I'm actually coming up on my 2-year anniversary on Twitch. And as soon as I shut down, I don't know. My brain just kicks in overdrive, and it sounds cheesy, especially after 2 years of doing this. But every day, every time I stream and I shut down, I'm just grateful for what I have. Because I see a lot of people that are a lot better streamers, a lot better gamers than I am. And, where we're at. And to this day, I don't know how, but I know I give all my credit to those that support me, that are by my side. The community, Marcus, I know you haven't been part of the community that long, but dude, you see the energy. Even when you show up, the community welcomes everybody in with open arms. And it's a beautiful thing what they've created. They give me credit, but I can't take it because they created it. I'm just a face on it, and I think they could have found a prettier face, to be honest.
Well, I always say that I have the perfect face for radio.
That's what my mom said about me.
Damn.
Yeah. I was like, thanks. Wait a minute.
Well, but you have to, like, I can only speak for Nick and I. Like, we appreciate the nerds community so much because they come out day in and day out, and coming into our streams, just saying hi and hey, how's it going, means more to me than anything else, because they're taking time out of their day to ensure that they come and say hello. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then,
absolutely.
And then you have your regulars that are always in there and always creating things. Example for me is Tabs created the fail counter, and everybody loves it because I can breathe wrong and they'll add a fail counter to it. And it's just,
exclamation point fail.
Exactly.
Right?
And
it's great to have stuff like that keeps the community engaged, know, because they can laugh at our failures. But at the end of the day, and I've had so many content creators in my DMs, how did you create the community? And once again, like I said, a million times over, it's the community that creates the community. It's nothing to do with the streamer. But at the end of the day, you just have to appreciate, and you have to let chat know. If I can give my advice to any content creator out there, it is never forget that these people could be anywhere else. They could be watching any other streamer. If you've got 2 viewers, those are the best damn 2 viewers you could ask for, because they could be anywhere else. They could be doing anything else. They're with you. They're giving their time. I say it on stream all the time. Time is the most precious thing because you don't get it back. And they're giving that time to you.
I can't agree more.
Completely agree.
I really feel, and I think that's where some content creators might fall off, is in the beginning, they appreciate it. And then, if they're not getting the growth or the game's not, popping off as well as one would hope, and, they get those stagnant days, you've still got 10 viewers. You've still got 15 viewers. Where's that love for those still 10, 15 that show up day in and day out? You gotta show that appreciation, because they can be anywhere. And if they're with you, and if they're with you, those are the best people on the planet. So,
I heard you say you're coming up on 2 years. Do you remember the day?
I do not. I know I need to, because it's a day I probably won't stream. My community goes crazy on a Wednesday afternoon for no damn reason. The last thing they need to know is when our 2-year anniversary is.
No way.
That is a day that
Nick, we're gonna find that out. Don't worry.
Blow it up.
Find that out. Yeah, we're gonna blow that shit up.
I get so much hell from chat to this day about me and how I accept, the love that I do get from chat. I'm awful at it. I'll admit it. I'm awful, dude. A gifted sub to this day, 2 years. I'm like, dude, thank you. That $6 could have bought you a freaking value meal somewhere. You could have spent that $6 on anything in the world.
Yeah.
But you gave that $6 to me. You did 100 biddies for me. You could have done that to this day, Yeah. And I don't know, when there's big days, my birthday, there's just been some monumental things. And I'm telling you, I think chat's number one thing. It's not what we succeed. It's not the gold bars, which we call exotics in the Destiny world. We call exotics getting gold bars.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think that watching me break on stream is still their absolute favorite pastime.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, that's any Twitch audience's favorite thing, is to see their favorite streamer to break them with some crazy hype train. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
It's the best.
This Sunday is my 2-year.
Congratulations, man! Let's go.
Yeah.
See?
It's crazy because we were growing so much. Now. What? No, Nick. No.
Yes, I am.
This is top secret. Don't do it, dude.
You just told it on your podcast, and it's top secret.
It's going to air tomorrow.
But everybody's going to listen to the podcast next week. The thousands of people that are going to hear this are going to hear it next week.
You really think so?
Miss it. Yes.
My boy Sausage has already got Twitter ready to pop off with this, so you may be underselling that one a little bit there, Chief.
So what I was saying is I get it, what you're saying about the community, and the most memorable moments from the community are when they're in chat and they remember something you did 6 months ago and you don't even remember it, and it all comes back. And I feel like those are the craziest memories. And that's why anybody who comes in always gets a high five.
Oh, yeah.
I get so excited. I always say my tail is wagging a million miles an hour when I stream, because I'm so excited that everybody is there to hang out, whether it's 1 viewer or 10 viewers,
right?
Or 20.
Yeah. And that's at the end of the day, man. Like I said, you've got to appreciate the 1, you got to appreciate the 20, you got to appreciate whatever they are, how many there are. And it's all about that.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of pointing.
Oh no, yes. that's our top secret code.
Sorry.
It's a very complicated hand signal as to who wants to talk about their week first. In this case,
Gotcha. All right.
It's gonna be Marcus. So Marcus, how's it going? And what have you been up to?
Okay. There's a whole bunch of things, but first thing we have to do is thank Pause. Pause is a Nerds community member. She is a Twitch streamer. She made me an emote out of nowhere. I got a message that said, "Here, I made you an emote," and it is of a gray ghost, grayish, like metallic silver ghost, and she put my logo right in the middle of it. That was the kindest thing ever. I've never had that happen to me. Coda made me like a pog face, but like I never had somebody take my logo and do something with it. You know what I mean?
Just as like a kind gesture.
Yeah, kind gesture.
Yeah.
And so I've had 2 emotes made for me. It's so cool, and now I can use it in everybody's stream. And it's also almost becoming like the welcome emote.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's my logo and the ghost. Because I've been saying for a while that I got to do a couple new emotes just to handle some of the changes.
Yeah.
But anyways, shout out to Pause. Thank you so much. I did. So I've had 2 awesome weeks in Destiny where I've done 2 raids, or maybe it was like over the course of 3 weeks. I'm not sure. But anyways, I've done 2 raids that I've never done before. And I think I've done them all for Destiny 2 now.
Okay.
Free Ride here was the first person to take me into Garden of Salvation, which I've talked about. But after doing that, I really wanted to finish all of the raids. And after having Tom TV on the podcast, he was like, dude, let's do it. So we did Last Wish last week.
I'm so sorry to laugh, but you go from Garden to Last Wish, and it is grapes to concrete. Like it's not even a food group anymore. Last Wish will sit you down really quick. It will humble a person.
Oh, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Like I just, like, so the first encounter, you go into this room and you have to like stand on plates and do all the things and match the codes. That almost reminded me of Vow of the Disciple with like all the symbols and stuff, obviously different mechanics, but like, I was just like, okay, this is pretty cool. But then the rest of the encounters, all of them were just meh to me. Like nothing like, how about this? There was a point in Garden of Salvation, and you referred to it as Dance Dance Revolution, where I had to like stand wherever like the line to this moat was going, right?
Right.
I found that mechanic more interesting than the entire Last Wish raid.
It's the name. It's the name. It's all it is. Dance. When you hear Dance Dance Revolution, you're just like, yeah, this is it. This is the epitome of gaming right here. Even if you're just standing on a small circle doing a divinity puzzle, you're like, yes, that's what it's all about.
And to
just a flood of memories of teenagers with questionable hygiene habits, like dancing in the arcade.
Did I just get called out? I feel like I got called out. That's fine. It's all right. It's whatever. Listen.
Yeah, it's
no
it's
way.
Okay. We can move on.
I was there too.
It's okay, Chad. Don't worry, Chad. We got it. So
wait a minute. The audio people don't know. Well, anybody doesn't know that I'm wearing.
Nick has a hat on that's backwards, and he looks like a Chad. Just saying.
Yeah,
baby Brad. But anyway, so but I think too, Last Wish is pretty as Garden of Salvation, and I will say this: I think in Garden of Salvation there were a lot of moments in that raid where like I was like blown away, and there was like memorable moments. Like, Marcus, you have to follow my gamer tag to find this hole to jump in. Okay, I made the jump. We went crazy. Then there was another part where we like beat like this like little like looked like a harpy. It's like a little like flowery robot floating enemy, right, Nick? But we beat it, and I was like, all right, are we all done? And everybody just laughed at me. I'm like, no, we're not done. I was like, okay, well, then that's just part of the boss fight. Great.
Yeah, that was the eyeball boss. That's
right.
Which is a very complicated. And one thing I will say, a lot of people are completely opposite of you. They do not like Garden. A lot of people struggle hard on Garden because it's so mechanic based. But that's one thing I've always been prideful on, is the fact that I'm very good at explaining in simplest terms. Hey, I need you to do this and then this is going to happen, and then do this. So if you've got people that don't explain something very well, it's going to go sideways. You're not going to have fun. And that's what it boils down to. And it's rough. It's rough because I love Garden. I love the complexity of it. I love the challenges, the mechanics of it. It's definitely not a stay in here kind of fight. So
I was going to say,
ahead, Nick.
Marcus, I feel like you're a lot more used to mechanic heavy raids anyways from Star Wars Old Republic. I feel like most of those boss fights are really mechanic heavy.
Well, you know what's so funny, Nick, you say that, is as I do these Destiny raids, now granted, Garden of Salvation 100% carried.
Okay, yeah.
no,
Like
No.
I was carried.
no.
I killed the things that I needed to kill, but I was carried.
You
Yeah.
can't be carried in that raid. That's one thing I love about it. If you're guarding a post, you are guarding that post. There are 3 other people that are guarding a post to make sure nothing sacrifices. Can't carry you there because I've got to go guard my own stuff.
Yeah, but I feel like if you're in a raid, you can handle guarding a post.
You would be surped. You'd be blown away.
All you gotta do is
say names, but
all you gotta do is shoot the bad man, right?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Like
you shot the ouchie boo boo guy before the boo boo ouchie guy shot you. It's a win-win. But
Exactly.
right, but
the
what I'm
encounter after that, you had to pick up motes. You had to pick up the correct amount of motes. A lot of people missed motes. You didn't. You deposited motes. You defended the bank. You did the damage to the boss. In the boss room, you guarded your bank, made sure nothing sacrificed. I think we won and done that boss.
Yes,
if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Damn.
That is not a carry type raid. It is very mechanic. When you throw mechanics in, you don't carry people. People have their jobs.
Well,
So say what you want, but
Carried.
So
my point is, okay, so here's the point. I want to go back to it. Well, I really badly want to go back, but I want to go back at a point where somebody can say, okay, Marcus, you're going to do this job. Because as I play, I don't want to suck.
right.
And I'm not saying that I suck. I'm not the best player, but I want somebody to be able to say, okay, Marcus, like in Vault of Glass, I'll give a perfect example. The oracles. Like I want to learn how to do that. I want to be the one to go through it, kill that thing and bring that thing back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And understand that, left back and we're Mercury or Mars, whatever it is. I want to learn the job so I can become a better player.
Of course.
Right. So that's
That
why
should be the end game. When people come in, I've actually scared people off because I always say the same thing. We don't do carries. We do helps. We do training. I want to train people. I don't want to carry you. I want to teach you the mechanics so well that you go on and teach your friends, your clanmates, your absolute strangers. Hey, I'm looking for somebody to help me with Vault of Glass. Dude, I know that. Free Ride Games taught me the mechanics for that. I've got you. I'm coming in. And I've had so many people come in and chat and say, hey, Free, because of you, because of your captains teaching us how to do this, I was able to help my entire clan get this W. You know how good that feels?
yes, and that's what I mean. Like Vault of Glass, you have to like run into these certain spots in certain times. I don't know. You jump really, really far down, and it's before you kill. I don't know what they're called.
Well, you've got Gatekeeper, you've got Templar, you've got Atheon.
Wait, at Gatekeeper, where's the ones that you have to like run through like timing, the things like light up in certain spots of the map?
That's actually Oracles. That's before Templar.
Yeah,
Oracles is right before Templar.
Yeah. That like stuff like that. That's the stuff I want to learn. It'll just make me a better player. So in the meantime, last Saturday night, I really didn't want to finish doing weeklies. I didn't want to do a raid. I just wanted to play the game. So I decided to start doing legendary lost sectors, which I'm a terrible player and I'm always playing with people. So I'm like, I'm going to put myself to a challenge. Well, the stream thought it was hilarious because I've never did this legendary lost sector. And let me tell you, I suck. I died so much. People are like, oh, you got to switch to You got to switch to the pulse rifle because it'll break that shield. Oh,
Right.
but wait, you got to switch to this other gun because it's going to break this other type of shield. And at one point, I did this. I just put my hands up and I died. And I said, okay, I have no fucking clue what everybody is talking about. So I left the Lost Sector and I read about it and like, oh, this has, I don't even know what they're called right now because it's on the spot.
I never
barrier and like what's the
I've
other one?
never been okay with somebody, and I'm sure like 90% of what you're saying is being playful. I get that, but I've never been one to allow people to put themselves down. You're either experienced or you're inexperienced. There is no sucking. You've either done it or you haven't. You either know what you're doing or you don't know what you're doing, but you don't suck at something. You're either experienced or you're not. And all right.
Oh, so we have a thing in this show that Nick and I tell each other to suck less all the time.
Oh, always.
So when I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean,
right. I need to not suck.
I need to not suck, which is my way of saying I need to learn. So
yeah.
So I actually did it again. And so I ended up beating this legendary Lost Sector. I beat it a few times. And then the next day I played, well, guess what?
Different Lost Sector.
It was a different Lost Sector, and I got my fucking ass kicked. I got through the first room, and I was like, I made it. But it was the Scorn, and the Scorn are probably the worst enemies because they throw things at you.
Yeah.
And then on all the champions or whatever the hell the boss or medium bosses, they spawn these things that eject AoE attacks. And you're like, and you can't even like hide behind cover because they're throwing these fucking grenades at you that explode these AoE attacks. And it was just awful. But come to find out, it wasn't what was it? Not barrier, overload.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't have
Unstoppable and barrier.
Yeah. So I had the unstoppable, but one of them had an arc shield on and I didn't have an arc shield breaker. So I had to do that. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing, but this Saturday, I'm probably going to do that because I'm super excited to get back into the legendary Lost Sectors to try to learn how to play better.
I think I did a couple legendary, or maybe not legendary, but
no, you probably just did the regular Lost Sectors.
Yeah, and I got destroyed. And then
yes,
two people came in that were like, well, I don't know if I'm level 15 or 20 or something. They were level like 130 or 40, and like very clearly knew what the hell they were doing, and then helped me. But I was just like insta death to like ads, like no, like regular.
Yeah, it's
enemies.
I do understand with what you're saying. So for me, I'm learning. It's awesome. As always, everybody, thank you for watching my stream. Thank you to all the new follows. Thank you so much for the generosity. This week has been really special for me in the stream because like, I feel like I'm finding my groove again from making the switch from SWTOR to Destiny. And after all this time, like, I feel like whole again. Like, I feel like when I'm clicking go live, I get so excited just to be able to give everybody a high five or just talk with everybody. And it, like, I just want to give everybody a hug. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It makes me really fucking happy. But I did end up, so because I'm waiting for the raid in SWTOR to come out, I need a second game to play. So I updated Final Fantasy 14 and I actually played with Doc this
Dr.
week.
Gameology.
Yeah. And we had a lot of fun. And it's definitely weird going from playing Destiny for months now or 2 months straight. Like that's the only game I wasn't sharing it with anything else.
Yeah.
To back to like your traditional MMO game.
Like third person over
yes.
the shoulder, all that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like just the combat. It seems so like
clunky.
Not clunky. No, the game's super smooth. It just feels slow.
Right.
Like I should, like I always say, I want to get something in my office for underneath my desk so that I can put my feet up.
They make those. They're cheap.
Yeah.
If you really want to get crazy, you can get a little pedal. It's like an exercise bike, so you can pedal your feet.
I'm country, boys. My brain instantly went to milk carton, like one of those,
That's a great idea too.
Yeah, I mean, I have
the
my
Holland Farms milk crate. You just flip that upside down. You put your feet on it. I did that on break at a factory all the time. So I mean,
it's perfect.
you say something to prop your feet up. I'm like, ain't you got a log sitting in your yard you can suck on that son bitch? Like, I grew up country, boys. You guys were talking about a little pedal, and I'm like, oh, that's a bicycle. I don't know why you have that in the house. My mama would kick my ass if I brought the bicycle in the house.
Yeah, mine too. No, I mean, I currently have my feet up on, or for one of them, on my other officey chair that I have in here. Which is still, I think that I tried to make it less suburban. I think I made it more suburban. Anywho,
you are suburban. Like if
I'm all suburban.
Yes, you are not a city kid. You are not a country boy. You are 100% suburbia.
Yeah.
Sure.
Guilty as charged. What?
Oh, dude, this is awesome. Like, I know nobody else can see this, but you're looking up, and it I swear it looks like a scene from the Brady Bunch, but like we couldn't afford a whole lot of people, so it's just like two of you.
I heard something slam upstairs. So
okay.
It looks like you're looking up to him, and I see his bare leg on the screen. I'm like, all this is just questionable. I don't know. Like, we really need cameras because it would change all of this.
I'm wearing gym shorts for the record.
Dude, please don't. We don't want to see up them. But here's the thing: we'll do an occasional live show, but every time we do a live show, it's a train wreck.
Oh, like
but people love those. People love those.
No, like it ruins the audio quality. It like if we just kept it on Twitch and YouTube, it would be fine. But like because it's an audio podcast, it never comes out right.
Like for the audio only folks, not like the audio quality is fine, but if you're just listening to it
on Apple Podcasts,
it makes no sense. Yeah,
I got you.
I don't remember. Oh, so last thing is if anybody's around Sunday night, 8:30 p.m., and you want to get down on some Destiny with this guy and celebrate
2 years stream anniversary,
let me know.
Hell yeah,
Nick. I'll wait for Nick to talk about it. But okay. Because of Nick, we did not record our special episode last night.
Time out. That is entirely not my fault.
So Nick, what have you been up to?
All right. Well, let's start with that.
That lead-in was amazing, by the way.
So last night, Marcus calls me at, I don't know, 4:15. Like, hey, what are you doing? Just finishing up at work. You want to get dinner tonight? All right, sure. He's like, all right, I mean, I'm going to go home and like grocery shop, but after that, I can meet you wherever. He's like, okay, we'll go to my neighbor's restaurant. It's great. It's right between us. Perfect. It's an Italian restaurant.
Yeah,
okay.
He's 12 minutes away from it. I'm 12 minutes away from it.
It's perfect. Like, awesome. Anyways, meet him there. We walk in. I'm like, wow, this is nicer than I was expecting. It's like a little shop, but then inside is all like recently renovated and things. We go, he's like, you want to sit at the bar? Sure. Okay. Get a couple beers, get some apps, like some wings, some mots, whatever. We're eating, chatting, having a great time. Then dinner comes, and like the proportions are humongous, of course.
It's an Italian restaurant.
Yeah. I'll give you a reference. I ordered I ordered a vodka sauce dish with like chicken and hot sausage, and like it was so big I ate it 3 times. I ate it last night, and then I ate it for lunch today and dinner today. It was really good. Obviously, it's why I ate it twice in a row, but still, it was humongous.
And everybody heard it. Nick loves hot sausage.
I do. Well, I'm Greek, man.
I don't think that's what he meant at all. Yeah. Just gonna throw that out there.
It's a running joke. It's all good. But my point being, we're eating like it was like a ridiculously large amount of food, and then like to the point where like I was so sleepy, I got an espresso, and I was still just like a blah, 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 Jabba the Hutt.
And we were like chatty Cathy's in the beginning of the night, and by the time we were done with dinner, we were like falling asleep. And then we went to leave, and my neighbor goes, "What the fuck are you doing? I just made you guys fried dough. Go sit down and have another drink." So we go back, and he made a fucking giant plate of fried dough for us.
Yeah, it was like probably what'd you call it, like golf ball size? Like,
dough.
Like puffs of dough with the cinnamon, sugar, and then like 2 sides of Nutella, which Marcus tried to convince me is not chocolate. because he knows I'm allergic to chocolate and just likes to see me try to eat it. But anyways,
but I did find out that chocolate is the main ingredient in Nutella. I really didn't know. I wasn't trying.
Time out. Oh yeah, Free Ride Games just got a lot of information at once. First of all, wait a minute. You really didn't realize that Nutella was all chocolate?
No, I thought it was all hazelnut. I'm not kidding. Like,
have you ever had chocolate before?
Yes, but like I thought maybe it was like fake, like fake flavoring. I didn't think it was real fucking chocolate. I thought it was legit hazelnut. I'm not kidding here.
It's liquid chocolate with a hint of hazelnut.
I love his deep exhale. It's when he knows. He's like, yeah, we went over this. You don't need to tell everybody.
Oh no, he's gonna blow up my shit. But like, there's certain
levels of like stupidity that you have to highlight, right? Like if I didn't know that, Marcus would do the same thing, and that is exactly the back and forth.
Like,
you know what I mean?
It makes a lot of sense because I forever like my kids will be like, oh, can we do with a little Nutella snack? And I'm like, it's 7:30. Hell yeah, it's only hazelnut, no problem. 20 minutes later, they're jumping off the couches going, bah! And I'm like, why are you guys so energetic? Chocolate.
Exactly.
Failure as a dad.
Chocolate. I always hated it.
But either way, so
SpongeBob.
As soon as Nick and I sat back down to eat the fried dough, we both looked at each other and were like,
we're not recording today. It was also like 8:30 at the fried dough stage.
Yes.
I think it was, I looked at my watch and it was like 8:27. I was like, well, there goes that.
Yeah, there goes our bonus.
It was a good thought. It was a good thought.
Right? Oh, it was 100%
the heart was there, but the mind had other plans.
Right.
But now at least the bonus episode that we were going to do that we're not going to talk about tonight is still, it's all prepared. So when we finally do it, it's going to be like, we can do it whenever now.
Yeah, exactly. It's perfect. So that was last night. Let me go back in the time machine a little bit earlier in the week. So Monday night. So Lego Star Wars released. I talked about it last episode. I was like, you know what? I should just play that on stream.
Yes.
So I bought it and I downloaded it and I did. And it's pretty awesome. I played a Lego Star Wars game. I think it was one of the prequel ones. Like way back. I don't even remember what console it was for. If it was
probably the GameCube
or PlayStation 2 or something in that realm.
Sure.
But it was like couch co-op. I think I didn't even have it. Like some friend of mine did, and I went over and played it a few times or something like that. But it's very fun. It's awesome that you could just like play through the movies and you can explore all kinds of cool side puzzles and content if you want, but you don't have to. Like I got through in my 2-hour stream, I got through the whole of episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Did you do the bonus stuff or did you just march through the story?
No, just march through the story. Like when I was done, I only had 50% completion.
Oh, of that planet
of that like
episode.
Chapter. Yeah. Which like is honestly more than more than I thought I would get. You know what I mean?
We're talking a Lego game, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but most of those games, if I'm recalling correctly, you can't get 100 until you beat it to where you can use the characters you've unlocked to
go back.
Yeah, to do certain abilities in a lot of the rooms and areas and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. I know for a fact I did not unlock C-3PO, and it actually like changed the story a little bit where like as I'm leaving, like Anakin, little kid Anakin's leaving Tatooine. There's a scene where it's like, oh, sorry, didn't get to finish building you, 3PO. Guess you have to stay here. And then he shuffles off. And it's like, oh, well, that didn't happen in the movie. I must have screwed something up.
Uh-oh.
You know what I mean?
Forgot his lithium battery pack somewhere, apparently. Moving on.
He wasn't put together. It was like his torso was here, his arms were over there, his head was over there. And then like I got a bunch of prompts like use a protocol droid to translate with you to find extra quests. And it's like, oh, I don't have a protocol droid. I definitely missed a quest somewhere. But I think it's also cool that like it gives you the option to not do that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like in all the other games where like the side quests are unlocked or things are locked. Like in Bungie, you need to have Deep Sight 3 in order to find some hidden chests.
Right.
Just like this, if you don't get the protocol droid, you're not getting that item that's sitting back there.
Exactly.
But what's cool about it is there's so much content in the Lego Star Wars game that was just released. I think it's called Skywalker Saga, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. like you could just get lost in episode 1 for hours.
Oh, easily. I could have done it. You can probably spend 8 or 10 hours just on that planet.
So do you plan on just completing the whole 9 episodes and then going back and working through all the extra stuff?
I'll probably, it depends, right? Like this next planet, episode 2, I'll probably do more extra stuff than this time where I just charge through. Like I'd like to go, honestly, I think probably next stream, I'd like to go back and do some of the extra stuff. Like I obviously want to go get C-3PO and figure that out, because it's like that's missing like core mechanics of the game, or at least of that story progression.
It also too, almost like you did with like Horizon, where you did the main story stuff for stream, but you did all the side stuff
off stream. Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. Is like I won't play any of the main story stuff on stream, but if I play Lego Star Wars off stream, it'll all be bonus side things.
Nice.
So also while I was streaming, I got rated by the great friend of the podcast and of the nerds community, the Chimeri, which was awesome. There's a whole bunch of hyped up viewers, which was awesome. Shout out to Chimeri, Kai Guy,
the Kai Guy,
Freshy Fresh, McFreshington Twitch partner, and also shout out to Rick Frack, who I did not know before. I believe he's a random Twitch streamer that just liked my chest hair that was out because I was wearing my my signature Hawaiian shirt that's mostly unbuttoned. You know what it was? I think it was particularly unbuttoned because Jacob, aka Gronkin87, aka the former most eligible bachelor in the nerds community, he redeemed the channel points to unbutton my shirt, so I had no buttons going on. But But yeah, Rick Rat came in with viewers too, which was really cool. They were all super hyped up, commenting on my chest hair and general sexiness, I guess, which was very flattering, and I appreciated it. But that was cool to just have like a random streamer. And I will say Rick Rack has probably one of the most ridiculous like channel summary intro videos on his channel. And I have no words to describe it other than you have to just go watch it. And I'll leave it at that. But not right now, after the episode. And after you subscribe and follow Free Ride Games. But anyways, back at the ranch.
Moon Knight. That was a good plug. I like that one. That was nice.
I'm good for one or two of those sometimes.
It was nice. It was clean.
I use my big brain, which is not that big. It's a lot of rattling around up here in the big head. Moon Knight this week. I don't know. I have no spoilers, but Moon Knight episode 4 came out yesterday, which was epic. I'm wearing my Moon Knight shirt from New Rockstars currently, which I'm pretty pumped about. But I'm really enjoying the show. It's turning out to be. It's hard to rank it. It's probably right around I'm enjoying it about as much as I enjoyed Loki, almost. I would say.
What? I don't know what.
I don't know about
like,
that.
Come on,
I don't know about
bro.
that
Like,
one.
come on.
Moon Knight. I have not missed an episode. I am intrigued. The whole split personality. That is beautifully written. And I think so many people. I really feel so many people overlook. I can't remember his name right now. I apologize. But his acting ability.
Oh,
to
Oscar
flip.
Isaac? Yeah.
From that person to the other person, and it is so fluid, and it is oh my god, that part alone sells that movie. Another movie that did pretty much the same thing was Extraction with Chris Hemsworth. I don't know if anybody's seen that one. There was a scene in that movie that sold the whole movie for me. The entire movie could have been about a bookshelf after the car chase scene. It was early on in the movie, but it was a single shot. And I don't think people understand I'm
going to look it up right now.
The ability of making that shot happen. It was so impressive. It was so clean. That was single shot chase. It started car chase, ended up in a building, apartment complex. And it was one scene. There was no cut.
I was going to say, this is a 16-minute scene. Yeah.
Did you Google it?
No, this is a video. Never mind. This scene's not that long. It's one. Yes, it's one take.
One take.
Yes.
And it is one of the most epic scenes I've ever seen in filmography as far as how well it was done. But same thing goes back to Moon Knight is if you appreciate certain aspects of something, it makes the show that much better.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, I think I was definitely a little overzealous with saying it's.
Oh yeah, way overzealous.
Way over.
Loki was
Okay.
god tier. Moon Knight's good. Let's.
All right. I think I think in my head I'm thinking Falcon and the Winter Soldier was so bad that I'm like that was awful, and then I'm also watching the Halo show, which is horrifically bad at the same time. So I'm like, by comparison, in my head, I'm like, well, it's way better than the worst Marvel show, and it's way better than Halo. So like, this is pretty good. But no, I think you're right. WandaVision and Loki are the best Marvel shows for sure.
I'm not saying that Moon Knight. I watched 2 episodes. I'm not saying Moon Knight isn't good.
No, but
great.
it's not like but like Loki and WandaVision are like A++. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here's the thing: is Moon Knight is nobody to us. You're 4 episodes into a new Marvel character. Yeah, sure, if you've read the comics, but it's still a new Marvel character.
Yeah,
where like Wanda and Vision and Loki have been around in our heads for 12 years.
That's true.
Since
too.
I think a lot of people don't realize that how long these characters have been part of our lives.
That's correct. So it's hard to say that Moon Knight hits better than any of those because he's brand new.
Right. No. I agree.
And for me, I'm just like, I say to myself, okay, I can watch a TV show. What am I going to watch? Right. And sure, I will catch up on all the Moon Knights before we do our review on it. But at the same time, right now, I'm just like, meh, it hasn't really, I think the whole split personality for me doesn't turn me on.
Well, you got to keep watching too.
No, I will. But I will say at the end of episode 2, like it started to make more sense.
Okay.
Right. So I do want to watch them all because I want to just be up to date. But for me right now, honestly, like it's hard for me to imagine that Moon Knight's he's not tying into the MCU. This is almost a standalone show.
Yeah.
And for me, after 12 years of everything for Marvel being connected, this standalone show, that might be my turnoff as well. You know what I mean?
I mean, I can tell you right now that it's already connected.
Right, but Oscar Isaac said he did not want to be involved in a character that's going to be around in all of the MCU movies.
I don't think that's true. Yeah, I think you're right. I will say I don't think Moon Knight will be involved with the larger stuff, but it's definitely has an impact on it.
Well, of course, yes. But you see my point. Like, I want to, like, if I invest myself into a new character, I want him to be involved, like Loki or Wanda or Vision.
Yeah. Right, where it's going to be like in the
all
big
in.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. I will say it gets dramatically more interesting after episode 2. Like, I feel like at the end of episode 2, you're like, okay, I get what's happening with the character.
Yeah.
Like episode 1, you're like, you don't know what the heck is happening to him. About the end of the episode, you kind of know. And then like episode 2, you're like, okay, here's the structure of how this magic works. And then episode 3, stuff happens. And episode 4, stuff happens and makes you question everything that's ever happened in the whole show. So it's pretty epic. And I will leave it at that to avoid spoilers. But also, so Moon Knight came out yesterday. To backtrack a little bit to Tuesday night, Joey Feta, my real life friend from college and Yukon Paintball, aka Frozen Cheddar in the chat, came over Tuesday night for some sushi, and he had not seen any of Moon Knight. So I was like, dude, you gotta get involved.
Here we go, marathon time.
Cool night.
Right. So he had sushi. He gave me my birthday presents that he'd been holding on to since, April 4th, because we just haven't seen each other. He got me some lightsaber chopsticks to go with, like, they actually light up to go with the sushi. And then some.
Are they red and green?
No, they're red and blue, because I would do red and blue. You would do red. You're a green guy. But
wow. Samuel L. Jackson is pissed at both of you right now. Purple's not even an option.
Okay,
imagine the life. What about?
Well,
I don't know.
If I was picking, I would have picked purple. I think if I had my own lightsaber, it would be purple.
Not me.
Unless I could do a black blade like the dark saber.
Oh, imagine a black blade saber. Now, not Mandalorian or was it Mandalorian or was it
like
Mandalorian inside of Boba Fett's show?
Yes. Yeah.
You mean
Stop
the
it.
book of
The pause was there for a purpose. Mandalorian
book
inside
of-
Boba Fett.
the book of Boba DeLorean.
Yes.
Yeah, where it was like 3 episodes of Mandalorian. It's like, whose
show is this again?
Yeah. But anyways, they had that magical saber, which, I'm
the
sure.
dark saber.
Dark saber, right. But I'm talking an actual black saber. Like,
yeah.
I just feel like that would be, oh, come on. That would be hot.
I agree. You can get one of those in Star Wars The Old Republic for your character. A black kyber crystal, which is cool. But yeah, I think I would probably either do that, or if we're doing more, directly from the movies, I would do purple. But yeah, so we watched Moon Knight. He got me. Sorry, I should backtrack. So lightsaber chopsticks, lightsaber automatic salt and pepper dispensers. So they take batteries, and you load the salt and peppercorns in there. You press the button on the top, and it goes and like grinds it up for you, which is cool. Just like I'm recently moved in here, so a housewarming gift, if you will. And then a bottle of scotch, which we sampled, of course. So it was awesome. It was an awesome Tuesday evening. And then then I got dinner with Marcus last night. So I've had an awesome week. I can't complain. Marcus,
Always good.
Speaking of having an awesome week, I think we got some awesome stuff in this week at Bungie.
Oh yeah, so it's called the TWAB. Thanks, Gator, for teaching me that's what the TWAB was.
So this week at Bungie.
There we go. I was going to say, you do know where it came from, right?
Right. Yes.
He did not for the longest time.
I did not, because everybody would be talking about the
experience. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, everybody was always talking about, oh, did you see the TWAB? And I'm like,
what's a TWAB?
No, I just would say no. And they'd be like, oh my God, you have to see it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. And afterwards, I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. And I was like, oh, this week at Bungie and this date. And I never put 2 and 2 together. I will take the idiot card of the day. Anyways, so.
What an idiot.
Yeah. So they came out with a pretty big TWAB this week. Nick's going to read our signature first paragraph just to break down what it has to do with. But if you want more of it, obviously go to bungie.net and you'll be able to read into it. But there's a couple of the points I want to add to it.
Can do. So it says, this week at Bungie from today. This week at Bungie, we seem to have written a short novel about upcoming weapon sandbox changes. It says, hello, dear reader. I'd like to kick this TWAB off with a quick word of advice. Never end your drafting phase with your introduction. I don't know where I'm going with this. I've been kicking this thing around for about 15 minutes now, trying to figure out the best way to launch you into yet another mega TWAB worth of sandbox information. We've got quite a few changes planned for next season, and we're excited to start spreading the word. Let's keep our conversation about the live game short and sweet, shall we? It's an interesting week, to say the least. Master difficulty for Valve the Disciple has kicked off with
Which
just
is
a few
ridiculous.
Yes. With just a few short weeks left before Guardians begin to claim their raid titles, Grandmasters continue to push the limits of player skill, build crafting, and general gameplay strategy. Iron Banner has come and gone, but Trials of Osiris returns this Friday with some light changes to the post-flawless experience. There's still quite a bit to do, especially if you're trying to finish off each fresh triumph released with the Witch Queen and Season of the Risen. All said, we're having a good time, and we hope you are too. There's some really cool artwork. And then it says, even with a solid launch in our sales, the winds of change will always catch up to Destiny. As mentioned, we'll be talking about how those winds are shifting the sands of our weapon sandbox. Some of you know the Destiny sandbox like the back of your hands. In some cases, well enough to release a 45-minute video about the intricacies of shotguns. That was obviously referencing someone specific. Well, do we have some changes ready for you? I've been known to recommend grabbing a drink of water and a snack for larger TWABs, and this is no different. Take this at your own pace, have a good time, and ask questions once you're through. Our community and sandbox teams will be at the ready to issue clarifications as we can, and will follow up on future posts, TWABs, or other means of communication if necessary. And it says that's that's a big sandbox. ... And there is a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's like 30. Like our notes went from our typical like 2 to 3 pages to 35 pages.
That's a lot.
So I'm just going to mention some things. Free Ride. If you have anything you see in the TWAB from this week that you want to talk about, please bring it up. One thing that I really am excited for is they're going to reduce the number of one-hit kills in PvP. Sandbox overall wants to reduce the number of one-hit kills in PvP, shifting combat more towards primary gunplay. With weapons, this means tuning special weapons, both the effectiveness of their specific weapons and special weapon uptime overall, and one key primary outliner. I'm really enjoying that because I get one hit killed all the time. Now, I'm not saying that I'm still not going to get killed with one hit, but I like that. Something else that I noticed, and I'm not even going to talk about it. They put Glaive a Rave as the title. I'm sorry. Like, Bungie has the best posts ever.
Yeah, they're so casual.
Yes.
It's like
with our goal stated, let's get into the meat of it all. First up, Glaives. Glaive a Rave. They're just talking about a bunch of stuff for the Glaive. And then the last thing for me that I saw, I'm super happy. My favorite gun in the game is actually getting a buff. And
nice.
I'm going to be able to use it again because at the end of last season, when Beyond Light ended, it kind of the gun was called the Huckleberry. I loved the gun, and for me, that is my favorite gun in the game. And they've
buffed it.
Yeah, they buffed it. So as the Huckleberry had an underwhelming engagement range, updated zoom based on the change to the baseline submachine gun zoom, and crazy zoom stat 13 to 15. And also, too, that they are buffing the damage just a little bit, which makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, so now your favorite gun becomes more viable to use again.
Yeah, I'm excited to use it. Free Ride. Do you use bows?
Oh, yeah. One of the best weapons in the game. Unlimited ammo. Unlimited range. You got to think that a bow is kind of sniper-esque in a sense. One, it doesn't use special ammo, which a sniper does, but you've got a bow that has no fall off, unlimited range, and it smacks like a truck, and there are some bows that roll with some really nutty perks. Explosive, rapid hit, archer's tempo, shoot the loot. There are some bows out there that are absolutely nutty. Way better than any scout, way better than, snipers, once again, you take in PvE, of course. I'm a PvE guy, so the second you hit PvP, I shut my mouth. I don't know what I'm talking about. I keep my butt out of there because it's just not my cup of tea. To each their own. But for PvE, bows are so money. And my favorite exotic in the game is Luminarch. It is
right here.
Busted. Luminarch, right? It's always just been an grade A weapon. If you've got a void burn, if you've got void shields, anything. In this season, we've got anti-barrier bow, and almost every grandmaster that I've ran doing helps, I've had Luminarch on because it just does so much damage, and they're buffing it. In PvE, the tick damage is getting 50% buff, and I smiled ear to ear. It's so amazing. If you don't have Luminarch, if you've never tried Luminarch, try it out. You will not regret it. That poison cloud from getting a precision hit, the sound of it alone just gets you happy, I'm telling you.
Luminarch is too oppressive when combined with external damage buffs, but we felt it could be stronger in PvE. With this change combined with a damage buff change above, we've introduced a 60 resilience gate on killing a guardian in PvP with a crit while in an empowering rift or similar. Reduce poison tick damage versus players. Change poison damage type from burn to poison. This is largely housekeeping, not gameplay significance. Increased poison tick damage versus AI by 50%.
Wow.
That's a big buff for PvE.
That's a huge buff. I use it in Grandmasters because anybody that does, in-game content, 90% of your, the things that kill you is the mob of ads. There's 50 trash ads at all times, everywhere on the map. They spawn in like that. You get one precision hit, it creates this poison cloud and poisons everything in a certain vicinity. And with that increase, right now I'm killing mobs. So with a plus 50%, I'm excited. Anything that makes my job easier of helping Guardians achieve victory, I'm 100% behind. Always have been. Because I really feel like I'm careful with my words here. I've always despised the fact that there's always been a flat buff or nerf in Bungie. I've always despised that. If it's too strong in PvP, we've got to nerf it. Well, it gets nerfed in PvE as well, whether they meant to do so or not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they've always had to do that one sandbox fix. So the fact that they can do things like 50% AI damage, that's huge. That is a step in the right direction. So huge GGs for that.
That is cool that it's like, I don't think I've seen that before where they change it. The changes are not universal. Like you're saying, like they can change it for one game mode, but then in the other game mode, it's different or the opposite in this case, which is really cool.
Correct. And that's the way it should have, I'm not a programmer. I don't know the intricacies of programming a video game. Excuse me. But it's always been a pain, especially as a PvE main.
Yeah.
And once again, I respect the PvP community. If it wasn't for your Grenader Jakes, your Pure Chills, your guys like that bring in such a large mass following into this game, it wouldn't be where it's at now. So I respect the PvP community, but it's always been a hindrance that, something that's completely broken or OP in PvP has to hurt the PvE community. So the fact that we finally are getting some of that discrepancy where the PvP guys are getting what they want, the PvE guys are not getting hurt because of it, that's huge. That is absolutely amazing.
Well, I agree with that 100% because that's something that Star Wars The Old Republic struggled with for years. And they still struggle with because they don't balance both separately.
Yeah, they don't have the infrastructure to do that.
Or whatever it is. I don't know because like we say, we're not game devs, but they can't do that. And seeing that is great. But something that has come up for me in these last few weeks is I actually have to learn how to play a game and not do my motto of pray and spray because I'm starting to use guns that, so everybody told me in this legendary lost sector to use the Arbalist, which is I think it's a linear fusion rifle, but it shoots like a BB gun. But if you shoot anywhere but the head, it does shit damage.
Yeah, and in the head, it's like
but the aim assist on that is godly. The aim assist
not
on
with
that,
the keyboard and mouse.
Wait, what? I'm
not with the keyboard and mouse.
I'm keyboard and mouse, man. That thing still magnetizes. Like you'll watch that bullet bend. It is stupid. I'm telling you right now, man. I've seen it.
I think you're underestimating how not good at aiming Marcus is.
No, you can speak freely by all means.
No. I know for sure. Like I am terrible at focusing. Like, let me shoot the body. Oh, I'll shoot the head and the body, but like I'll shoot it all. That's why I like the Vex so much because you're shooting them in the belly. That's their crit spot, and it's amazing. You don't have to shoot them in the head. Anyways,
did you play D1?
No.
Okay.
I didn't play D1 because it wasn't available on PC.
Gotcha.
I'm a PC gamer.
No worries at all. Destiny 1, the Minotaurs, which of course you're familiar with Minotaurs now, which they changed into D2, but the old dogs of Destiny remember that Minotaurs never had a crit spot. So when you say, the belly is, the weak spot, it always flashes back to frickin' Minotaurs and no crit spot and the pain that was. So
right. That's why I like the Osteostriga so much because it has crazy aim assist. And Believe it or not, I really like that gun because it has the poison and it helps take down enemies. But when you go into hard content, you can't bring it because
Whoa, stopping you there. Sorry, I know this is your show, but I gotta lock it down. Hold on. Osteo melts. We always have at least one person on my GM runs. If I've got a helper with me, somebody's running Osteo. Osteo, when you get that tick damage to stack, you are melting anything and everything.
yes, that's what I mean.
Oh, I thought you were saying
done.
you couldn't bring it into end game.
Well, what I meant the legendary lost sectors, because I feel like there's other guns that are going to be better for me to kill ads and the bosses. Like, what's great about Galahorn is it does so much damage.
Of course.
And it tracks the boss. So it melts bosses. So like you have a choice. Do you take the Osteostriga, which is a submachine gun, and take a subpar heavy? Or do you take your Galahorn to be able to melt things faster if you really need to? But take the Osteostriga for the ads. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's the fine line that as a Destiny player we have to walk, because I've always dreamt of a weekend where the Bungie devs just went full open. We have 12-man raids back. We have exotics in every slot. They just open the game up. You know what I mean? Just one weekend a month, one weekend every 6 months where they just let us go full crazy. I would love to see that. Like, give us a goal. Give us a Bungie foundation where the community has to raise so much money and unlock, bust open the floodgates and let us just go crazy for one weekend. 12-man raids and 12-man activities was some of the craziest fun, and it really lit the game back up. And there are some, people in their balconies saying, "Oh, I would never play 12-man, blah, blah, blah." It was fun. It was chaos. It's a video game. Sit back, relax, and have fun,
That sounds fun.
It was crazy. It was just chaos.
Have all your friends killing everything?
Everything was murdered. We did 12-man Rat Kings.
Oh boy.
It was stupid. It only stacks up to 5 or something like that. So we'd have 2 groups of like 6 and everybody using Rat King. It was nutty, but it was stupid fun, and it rejuvenated our love for the game. And going back to your Divinity run, I'm not sure how many people did it, but I know I was one of few that did. I think we got 8 people Divinity at once. We took 8 people through Garden of Salvation and got them all Divinity in one run. It was just epic. It was fun, especially because there's so many tethering mechanics and you've got all these extra people in there for tethering stuff. And it was screwing up stuff more than it was ever helping. But it was fun. It was chaos. And you got to have that. You got to have that fun and that craziness from time to time, or things get stale,
That's
I agree. And then my final thought on like the Osteostriga, because the submachine guns don't have unstoppable or this or that, you can't always take them into a legendary lost sector.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So we do have overload SMGs. So if you're doing but once again, you're negating your Yallarhorn, as it were. But there's still so many other weapons that, of course, are not Yallarhorn, but that's an exotic. You've still got Hezen with autoloading. You've got the Palmera. You've got Threaded Needle. Threaded Needle, even without the fusion melt that we had last season, which rest in pieces on that one. What a great season. Oh my God. It may have been the longest season we've ever had, but damn, did fusions make that season amazing. We did more flawless helps than ever before, because it just, once again, it's the fun.
I fell in love with the Cartesian
Coordinate.
I love that gun.
Did you have lead from gold on that?
Yeah, I have the God roll, whatever it is.
Yeah. If you had lead from gold, it was a beautiful thing.
Well, and I still use it to this day, because if I ever need something to melt quick, that's my go-to backup. Like, I'll have a primary and I'll switch to that because it melts everything in its sight.
Yep. And that's still without the fusion melt,
Yeah.
So I love a good tuna melt.
Tuna melt.
Wow. What's the thing called when you've seen something before?
Deja vu.
Yes, I just got crazy deja vu
great
when you
movie.
said that. It
Sorry.
is.
That is a great
no,
movie.
you're good.
Wait, quick sidebar. Speaking of like memory movies, have you ever seen? It's older now, but have you ever seen Memento?
No.
Actually, I've watched parts of it. What a great movie!
It's I think it's Christopher Nolan, if I remember correctly. It's one of his
I
first
believe it
movies.
is, but yeah, it was so beautifully written, and then
Yes.
the ending when he does what he does, you're just like, oh my god,
My God.
you know, like it just
Yeah.
it changes the entire aspect of the entire movie. It's kind of like watching Book of Eli. You
Yes.
watch it once, you get to the end, and you realize
Oh
you
my
have
God.
to go back.
Yes.
You have to go back and watch the entire movie again, and then you're like, holy shit, this entire time? You know,
exactly.
oh, dude, when movies do that to you, that's the ones that stay forever.
You know another movie like that? You ever watch actually this is also Christopher Nolan, but The Prestige?
What was that, the Magicians one?
Yes, it's Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman, yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great movie. Great movie.
It's another movie where it's not as much. It's like once you know the twist at the end. Well, I should say there's like several twists, right? But like the twist at the end makes you want to go back and rewatch it and like just spot all the things that get revealed. But I'm being careful to not spoil like a movie from the early 2000s, but still,
right,
it's really
you gotta be
good.
careful. Like
if you've never,
never mind. Stop it. Stop. Too soon.
That's 2,000-year-old spoilers,
right? Hope you didn't read that book yet.
Rip that guy.
I don't know why that struck me as so funny, but what was I saying?
I don't even know.
Sidebar
The
about
Prestige movies that catch you at the end.
Yes.
Want to go back and watch them?
Also, well, the Batman is really cool, but one of the movies it was modeled after, Seven, has a really cool twist too.
So
Brad Pitt.
Yep.
I didn't realize that, but once I heard that it was modeled after Seven,
yeah,
it made a lot of sense.
Yeah,
right.
It's modeled. A lot of the plot is modeled after Seven, and then Chinatown, which I believe is from the early 70s with Jack Nicklaus is the lead. It's a neo-noir film that most of us have probably not seen, but I saw it for a film class, which was really cool.
Right.
The cool thing about the Batman is they didn't release really good content. There's some unbelievable deleted scenes.
I know
in that movie, and like now I just want a director's cut with it all.
Yeah, me too.
So you're going Snyder stats on this one already?
Yeah,
gotcha. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it's already 3 hours, but like, I want the 4-hour version.
Oh,
so what
dude,
if you have to watch it all nights?
I'm the Lord of the Rings guy here. Okay.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, like extend it or get the hell out of my way. You know what are you even doing?
Poser. The extended editions of the Lord of the Rings movies make me mad because it's so much better than the original cut. Like, there's zero plot holes when you get the extended versions.
Right.
Like none.
It's all
everything is like perfectly laid out. There's no leaps in logic. Everything makes perfect sense. It's like, I feel like I understand why they had to cut stuff because these movies are still almost 3 hours without the cuts. But like the extended versions if you're going to watch it, do it right. Watch only the director's cut, extended cut, whatever you call it.
I've never seen them.
Any of them? At all?
I even
are you kidding? Wait, of course I've watched the movies. No, I'm saying I've never seen the extended versions.
I have them all. I have them. I have acquired them via the interwebs when I was at UConn, and they couldn't flag you for torrenting things. So I have them on my external hard drive. We should definitely just have a day where I slap it on the big screen and you watch it.
Have popcorn ready, lots of popcorn, because it's great. Like when you watch the extended, you're like, why did they? There's other scenes they could have took out. I don't give a shit about your mashed potatoes. Give me the good scenes.
Exactly. Give me the scene. Give me more scenes with Gandalf and Saruman. You know. Yeah. Anywho, I digress.
Anyways,
meanwhile, back
at the ranch. We need a soundboard for that.
Yeah.
For Kitty saying it, but we were talking about Destiny and the gun changes.
And it's all good, but if you want to read more, we're not going to go over the whole twab, but
it is a good
stay tuned. Oh, shout out to all the peeps who voted. Team Mech, baby. So they gave us 2 options to vote for: Team Monster, Team Mech. Team Mech won. Us Titans are gonna look like a Gundam character, and it's gonna be fantastic. Let's go, Team Mech. And sorry, Monster fans, no fur boots this time. In AIE news,
Tuesday nights are clan nights in Destiny 2. And I have a frog in my throat. Come join us as we do our Come join us as we do our weeklies and help other players get things that they need in game. It starts 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and don't forget, clan night means the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. Come have some fun. Marcus, do you have more deets? Do you know what you're doing for clan night Tuesday?
it's really whatever. I feel like we're leading the clan, but like if somebody needs help with something, I might not be the correct person to help, but I'm sure going to give it 110% to help you achieve something that you want to achieve.
Yeah.
But if it's something really difficult, I'm not the guy you want to ask, but I'll sure try, and we'll die a lot.
And you'll die a lot together, and it'll be fun.
Yes.
And
so
if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org, get our Discord information, the link for which is in the top right-hand corner of the website, and ask for a guild invite, whether or not you play Star Wars The Old Republic, or Destiny 2, or Guild Wars 2, or Pokemon, or My Little Pony Online, or StarCraft, or Call of Duty.
Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, any game, we're playing it.
And we would love to have you.
Nick, I don't know how long we've been recording, but I'm sure you have to use the bathroom.
I definitely do. So we'll be right back.
Jeez, Nick, hurry up. We're trying to finish this podcast.
And we're back. So go get your backpack, get your map. Don't forget to tell Swiper no swiping, because we're going on an adventure with Free Ride Games. We've got some not so hard hitting questions for Mr. Helpstream himself. And I think Marcus wants to start things off.
So why did you start streaming?
Oh, man. I'll try to not go long-winded on this one, but me and my oldest son, one of our favorite pastimes, he'd get out of school, make sure all the homework stuff's done. We'd make dinner together. Cooking with my kids, once again, try to keep it short-winded as I can. Cooking with my kids is like...
No, get into it. There is no time limit to this.
Cooking with my kids is my absolute favorite thing to do. Teaching them how to cook, teaching them to be able to take care of themselves, and the look on their face when they finally make their first steak and it tastes great. You know, it hits that perfect temp, or whatever the case may be. You know, we love making meals, chicken stir fry. You know, that's my youngest son's favorite thing to make. Loves the prep, loves seasoning, the whole 9 yards. But anyways, my oldest son, Drake, one of our favorite things to do was we would make our meal. We'd have our meal together as a family, and we would watch YouTube. And back then, you know, one of our favorite ones to watch was Jez. You guys familiar with TH? Of course. No?
I'm not.
TH3 Jez? So. Come on now. Anyways, he used to have these videos, monotone complainy guy. And it's some of the funniest YouTube content out there. If you've not went back and watched some of the classic Jez, that's pretty much what set me on this path. Was watching that with my son, seeing the smile, the laugh from him just from watching this. And he used to always say, "Dad, you're great. You're always helping people." This is back when we did LFG stuff. We didn't have the channel. We didn't have the community. You know, it was just me and my good friend Brian. Also, Deagle on Twitch. We would just go to LFG. We would look up people on LFG and we'd help them get raid clears. This is D1 days, way back when. And so I've always had a love for helping people that were struggling. It's always been one of my things. And my son said, "Dad, you should stream. There's people out there that need it. You're funny. You should definitely do this." And I'm thinking, this is my boy. He looks up to me. I can walk on water. Nobody's going to enjoy it. You know, what the hell? But anyway, so after persistence, it finally, you know, he pushed me into it. And I started off minor Destiny stuff, but I played a lot of different games. Monster Hunter was part of it. But yeah, it was definitely my son, my oldest boy, and hearing him laugh watching Jez videos, that definitely pushed me into streaming. and doing that to make the world a little bit better. Try to get people to laugh. Doing helps is always second. Making somebody smile is always first. Will always be first on the board. If I can make somebody smile in chat, my job here is done. We can fail 1,000 grandmasters, but if I made somebody smile, that's a great stream, and that's what started all. So a son's love and his persistency to not shut up about it is what started it all off.
Hell yeah, that's what it's all about. I think I was introduced to video games, because I played them with my dad originally. So I get the motivation. Like, I guess I should say I can relate to that being a big part of the reason you're playing and stuff.
Right. Yeah, having that bond. Me and my son, we've gamed so many countless hours together, and 1v1s and taking on co-op campaigns, and it's memories we'll forever share. Some of our greatest times were some of the most painful. It was Ninja Gaiden Black.
Oh my God, that game was so hard.
Yep. We would just take turns on Ninja Gaiden Black. If one of us died, hand the controller over, the other one would play. And still, I mean, she's ranked, I think she's third on several charts, was the boss inside the church of Ninja Gaiden. And the amount of times we had to hand the controller back and forth, we still talk about to this day. Because she was brutal. Yeah. Great butt. She had an amazing butt. The cutscene was phenomenal. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've played Ninja Gaiden. All right, Listen, don't judge me. All right, you can at me on Twitter. That's fine. But, it's stuff like that, that you create these bonds with, and I don't want people to think, oh, well, all you guys did was play video games. No, me and my boy, we went fishing, we went camping, we did, all the father-son stuff. But for whatever reason, gaming is definitely what made that bond still to this day. I'll be streaming, he'll stop in, or he'll jump into Discord, or we'll do something together, and it's amazing that, he recently, had his first kid. I went and met my grandson.
Let's go.
Month and a half old, and to this day we still game together. And that's something I take a lot of pride in, that, even after he's became a man and he's, started his own family,
that's so cool.
We can still game together and still have those same laughs and those same memories, and it's because of gaming.
Yeah. Well, gaming is one of those things where no matter where you are in the world, you can still play together.
Right.
The only hindrance you have is time zones.
Right.
And I feel like we come from a generation or I'm 39, right? So my generation we're the couch co-op players. Like I'm the LAN party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now it's magical how it connects all of us.
Right.
And no matter what, all it takes is, send me your Bungie ID, or what's your character's name in Star Wars: The Old Republic or Call of Duty. And next thing you know, you're playing with somebody that might have moved to Australia.
Yep.
And you can stay connected and play video games with that person.
Oh yeah. And you see the memes on, different social media sites. And I'd have to say the one that hits the hardest, and it's still true to this day, is I think it's usually like 6 panels. It's always the same premise though, playing together, and the person gets older and they're still playing together. And then he goes to log in and it has that person's gamer tag and it says last online,
right,
2 years ago or something like that, and that hits, because you just never know. You never know, but it's always those first 3 panels. It's the memories you made along the way. And that's what we need to hold on to. And, video games used to have such a bad stigma, the older generation, of course, all you do is sit in front of your, then you got the same generation that, plays Farmville. But anyways, I digress. I'm not pointing fingers,
right.
But
or just like melts in front of a TV watching game shows.
Well,
like,
it's non-interactive, but it was always video games were a stigma of a sign of laziness. It's like, all right, well, enjoy your Murder, She Wrote. I'm going to go play with my friends.
They literally prevent mental deterioration. Video games are like really good for that.
Yeah.
Well, right. So I'm going to say that.
Like the best thing an old person can do is play video games.
Oh, what was now? I hate to bring it up because I almost positive I read a bad, like a sad article about it. Grandma Skyrim.
Yeah, I think she passed away, right?
Yep.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
It wasn't
but
doing good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure wasn't doing good. I don't know if she's passed away, but it's stuff like that. That just think about it. I mean, it's opened up the world to this whole new light.
Have you ever heard?
Amazing.
Have you ever heard of Grandpa Gaming?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He's subbed to my channel. I'm subbed to his. He's a great dude.
Yes. All right.
I love his new emotes. For anybody that listens to this, you got to stop by Grandpa Gaming and check out his dancing emotes. They are top. They are just absolute top. And his energy and oh man, yeah, I love him, dude. He's always had my respect because he's another one of those guys that just remains calm, helps as well. And he's a great guy. Great guy.
That's awesome. So what why is Destiny 2 your mainstream game? How'd you get into Destiny?
Destiny has actually just been my main game forever. I've since Destiny 1, I played the beta when it came out, and I fell in love with the open worldness. I fell in love with the grind aspect. Just a different loot and always trying to get the better roll, the better version of this weapon, which of course we didn't always have. Destiny 1, we had flat rolls. This is what you got. Right. Enjoy. But it was just the adventures and becoming stronger and using different builds for different things. I really feel like Destiny set the stage. As much as the non-Destiny players want to admit it or not, Destiny set the bar on gaming in certain aspects, especially when it comes to first-person shooters. Mm-hmm. How many times has a phrase came around, and this is one thing that I always love, especially the non-Destiny players. This game is coming out and it's going to be the Destiny killer. You know what I mean?
I've heard that a lot.
It's not the Minecraft killer. It's not the Star Wars New Republic killer. It's not,
Old Republic.
The older, sorry, my apologies. Sir. It's not Call of Duty killer. It has always been
Fortnite, whatever.
Yeah, it's always been the Destiny killer. And yet, after every time it's been murdered, this bitch has still got Warlock self-res from Destiny 1 and just pops right back up. And that's one thing I've always admired about Destiny is the longevity and how they can keep refreshing it. We have bad seasons, but when you look at Destiny as a whole, the years that this game has been alive and the lives that it has changed, from the foundations to the charity work that it does to its acceptance of people from all walks of life, I admire that about this company more than anything, for sure. Yeah. But other games, I mean, I've put some hours into Monster Hunter. we'll just throw that one out there. Monster Hunter World was my shit.
I was sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was going to ask, what's your favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time? GoldenEye 64.
Whoa! Let's go.
No, you've got to pay homage to the best first-person shooter.
The original first-person shooter.
Well,
I should.
No, it wasn't original because you had Wolfenstein, you had Doom.
Wolfenstein and Doom. That's true.
The main reason I've got to go with 64, and I was actually talking to my 15-year-old son about it because I showed him the TikTok, and I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a TikTok of video game music that goes harder than it should, and it's the composer doing the pause music for Nintendo 64 GoldenEye. And the video is just absolutely amazing. It's so good. But anyways, so I showed him that and he goes, I don't think I've ever played that, Dad. And I started going on about the details. It was the first game, which is baffling to say this. It was the first game to have hit registration depending on where you hit the enemy.
Oh, yes.
We don't have that in 99% of the games, and it's 2022. But GoldenEye, if you shot somebody in the foot, they hopped around on one leg. You shot them in the arm. They would, oh man, my arm hurts a lot because you just shot me there. We don't have that now. How? You know,
Right.
it's crazy, but I don't know. It was just so beautiful and it was so amazing, especially for its time. And it was one of the first few games that gave us the time challenges that it did. You know, it was almost, dare I say, one of the first footsteps in speedrunning games. Does anybody remember some of the crazy speedruns that came out for GoldenEye 64?
I don't.
I don't really, but
You've got to look up speedrunning street GoldenEye. If you type that in Google, you're going to see some nutty shit where these guys are facing at the ground, speedrunning backwards and shooting a grenade launcher to like avoid certain aspects. It's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's wild, but
That is crazy.
GoldenEye will always be up there as far as my all-time favorite, just for what it did to the gaming industry.
You know how a game video is old when you pull up the YouTube video and it's in 3:4 aspect ratio.
Well, what else you wanted to be in? I mean,
No, I know, it's just funny. Like I forgot that was a thing.
Look up Atari ET. Best game of all time. No, don't. Please don't. You deserve better in life. It's awful. I think there's like 2.5 million copies still buried somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure.
This is
such a flop.
This is a super important question to our channel. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
I haven't really put any thought into that one.
Wait a minute, you can't ask that now.
Have I watched Star Wars? Yes. Did I like the original trilogy more than episodes 1 through 3? By a fucking landslide. But episodes 1, 2, and 3 still had their great parts in those. So I respect them for what they were. But no, I think, the original trilogy definitely set the stage as far as what they did with movies of sci-fi nature. Before those, sci-fi movies were not really sought after because they just didn't do that well. Star Wars really changed the game as far as sci-fi and what people accepted. Sorry, you asked me who my favorite character was, and I went on a tirade of.
I actually loved every minute of it.
I was gonna say we're all about the sidebars.
Respecting what Star Wars did for filmography is a step above. People have no idea what they did for it. But favorite character, I don't know. I'd probably have to go with badass Yoda from episode 2. Was it?
Okay. Yeah.
Clone Wars, I believe.
Yes.
Awesome.
During the clone battle, when he just goes absolutely ham, and then he just picks up his little walker and little putts off after doing 5,000 somersaults off a wall and shit. I thought that was just like epic. I was like, yeah, all right, man, quit playing.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. Marcus, do you want to talk about ours real quick or no?
I don't need to. You can.
Well, I was going to say I see for these questions, I like to at least chime in with ours a little bit.
Go for it. Yeah, I'm all for it.
I never know what to say for my favorite game of all time.
Okay.
I feel like it changes every time. Marcus, I know, is going to say Castlevania of the Night and or Mass Effect 2. But
hold on.
Symphony of the Night.
I've got to ask, are we I'm not for sure of full name Castlevanias. Are we talking NES Castlevania?
No, this was a PlayStation 1 Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Oh, gotcha. I actually didn't own a PlayStation until a year ago. So
okay.
I missed out on many games.
Right. So it was still a 2D side scroller, but it was updated graphics. And the game had the biggest plot twist ever. So you went through the whole game and you got to Dracula and you think you kill him. And the castle turns upside down. And now you have to go through the entire castle all over again. And the enemies hit 10 times harder than ever before. And it was just blow you away.
Right. You were not ready for that.
No.
That's not something you expected to happen. I got you.
That's correct. Yep.
I got you. I got to pay respect to the original Castlevanias. I mean, hidden rooms and, using holy water on certain spots was such an awesome aspect, especially for an NES game. Have you done your research as far as, or ever looked into, not done your research, I apologize, but looked into the entire file size of the original Mario Brothers game for NES?
Oh, no. I'm vaguely familiar with it. It's a very, very small amount.
It's like 256 kilobytes.
Yeah.
Was the
Not even-
entire game.
Yeah. it's
It
not
is
even a
something
megabyte.
uncanny. My phone takes 27 megabyte photos. And this
Right.
entire game that shaped and molded my childhood was 256 kilobytes or something crazy.
Yeah,
It
I
is
was gonna say.
wild.
Yeah, this podcast is gonna be like 500 megabytes.
Right.
It's going to be well more than that. Well more than 500 megabytes.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's more. It's a couple gigs, I think.
Yeah,
but-
it'll be a couple.
No,
gigs.
not per. No, actually, it is like one podcast episode because there's no video involved. Is usually about 500 megs.
Oh yeah. Keep
It's not
forgetting
too
about
bad,
the
it's
no
just the
video
audio.
aspect as a
Yeah.
streamer.
With
Kind
the
of
video, it would be a lot.
Oh yeah, it would be gigs.
yeah.
And Nick,
Um,
I like to spice things up, bro, with our questions so they're not just stagnant. So don't fret. And so for my favorite Star Wars character, is R2D2. He doesn't need the Force. He doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to know anything. Just every single person knows he's always going to be there to have your back. And in every important part of every single movie, R2D2 is there to help without question, without hesitation. And that's why he's my favorite.
I'm actually going to change my answer.
Oh,
I will
shit.
give a.
Wait, whoa,
actually-
whoa. Answer changes mid-cast? Oh, this can't be allowed. Check the guidelines.
I think Nick, after doing this podcast for 149 episodes, has
Yeah.
thought about his favorite character, and he's molding himself into the true character loving person of.
Grand Admiral Thrawn.
Oh, that's interesting.
Was that
So-
it's the trap guy?
The trap guy.
No.
No, that's
No.
Admiral Akbar. So
I thought you said
no.
Admiral Frog guy. I'm so sorry. I didn't even hear you.
no. Grand Admiral Thrawn is his name. So
Oh, sorry.
well, I should. His real name is Mithran Yorodo, but so my classic answer to this question, I'll just explain them both quickly. Is actually Darth Bane. So where both these characters are more prevalent in Legends or like extra content in books and stuff. So Darth Bane is the original Sith that initiated the Rule of Two. So way back in between the Old Republic and the movies and stuff. There's a time in which there's lots and lots and lots of Sith, and they're all there's lots of Sith similar to how there's lots of Jedi. But with the Sith, the hierarchy constantly gets screwed up because they're always stabbing each other in the back. Darth Bane, this character, realizes this and says, screw it, I'm going to be the one. I'm the most powerful Sith right now anyways. I'm killing everybody, and then I'll be the only Sith, and there'll be no backstabbing. And then I'll take an apprentice. I'll train them up eventually they'll kill me. So the cool part about Darth Bane that I like is there's a trilogy of books about him. And then at the end of the book, in the third book, he's learning this ability called like essence transfer, where you can transfer your essentially Force ghost or essence into someone else, right? As you're dying. So they leave it vague at the end of the book as to whether or not he essence transfers himself into his apprentice. Well, fast forward to Rise of Skywalker, and Palpatine's like, I am all of the Sith, and you see all the Sith behind him and all that fun stuff. So in theory, it would make sense that Darth Bane has been all of the Sith and is Palpatine and is the bad guy of all of the Star Wars for all time, which would be pretty interesting. But regardless, it's cool that he's the guy that initiated the Rule of Two and is just a badass character. But I would say my answer, as I'm thinking about, like, what character have I really related to that was really cool and I enjoyed a lot also? And I was thinking about Thrawn because I really like the Thrawn books also. So he's a big character in the first piece of content after the original trilogy in
Book form.
Yeah, Heir to the Empire, which was really cool. He's the bad guy. He's the guy who takes over. He's an alien species, a Chiss. He's blue skin with red eyes, and very, very smart and like a crazy tactician. He takes over the Empire after Palpatine dies in those Legends books. But then he's also a character in canon now in Star Wars Rebels, but also is going to make an appearance in the Ahsoka series.
Well, we don't know that confirmed.
Well, it's she mentions that she's looking for him in The Mandalorian season 2, right? So like one can assume that in her own series you're going to see he's going to come up. But I'm pretty sure he is confirmed in there. These cast Mads. I forgot who's gonna play him, but there's a Thrawn live action Thrawn cast for sure. But anywho, interesting. That's my favorite too, off the top of my head. But I like dark side characters, if you couldn't tell. Let's see. So I think I know the answer to this, but would you consider yourself more of a PC or a console gamer?
Started out on an Atari.
Wow.
So not to flex my gray hairs too hard, but been gaming for a while. Even growing up, not to go into too much detail, I grew up not well off. And so on the weekends, I would go to my grandfather's house, and occasionally he would actually rent a PlayStation. I think it was like Movies and More, Blockbuster, something like that. You could actually rent a PlayStation, thing. And I'd always rent the same game, Resident Evil. Now, here's the fun stuff. You guys ready for this? For anybody that's familiar with Resident Evil, I know you said something about PlayStation earlier, so you probably know where I'm going. When you rent a PlayStation, guess what it doesn't come with?
A memory card.
Yeah. Playing the entire Resident Evil game without a memory card, which means when you died, what happened?
You
started over.
Wow.
So, but no, definitely, I'm on mouse and keyboard. I prefer mouse and keyboard, but you got to show love to your roots. So, as far as my preference, always M and K. I love the fluidity of, mouse, but, as long as somebody's playing and they're having fun, I don't care if you're on a Game Boy DS, it's all about, finding that escape from reality, finding that happiness, play on whatever makes you happy. My cousin hacked a T something calculator in high school.
TI-84 or something?
I believe
one of the graphing ones?
It was one of those Texas Instrument ones, yeah.
Yeah.
And he put Mario on that fucking calculator.
It's got to be a TI-84, but yes.
All right, so you're familiar.
Some variant of it.
You're familiar with it, yeah. He actually put Mario on a calculator. So I always say this. Cool. I always say the same thing. If you can play on it and it makes you happy, that's all that matters. So
that's awesome.
The whole battle of PC versus console, it's always been silly because, if it makes you happy, what the hell does it matter? What's the battle here?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's more the war. But like the debate is more like between which console, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, for sure. You've always had Xbox versus PlayStation and Nintendo versus Sega and Sega. It's a generational thing, but
agreed.
What is your favorite book?
Oh, actually, and I may catch flack for this. Some may not even consider it a book, but I've got two cheeks and they can kiss them both. It was oh man, I can't remember. It was the Wolverine Weapon X, the Weapon X novel.
Ooh, yes.
It was so well, the graphic, the artwork, everything about that really, really drove me into comic books at an early age because it was one of the first, graphic novels that I picked up, and it was just phenomenal. I think it really set the bar as far as comic books and things of that nature. But as far as book goes, I mean, if anybody's ever read the Weapon X, book, it's not a comic book. It's pretty graphic and it's phenomenal. It was very well written. But of course, I mean, now Marvel's changed the story, changed his name, and what the fuck are they doing to my boy? This is my guy.
It's terrible.
Right.
I hope they do reincorporate the mutants into the current MCU, and I honestly think that they're going to do it with this Multiverse of Madness movie.
It opens up the doors to so much, but at the same time, I know we're not going to do time travel anymore. But it's a scary thought when they add that into a movie because it's always an option now. Once you add that into,
you can't take it out.
Yeah, you can't. And there's certain things that they should never add into universe in that aspect. And the multiverse is another one of those where it's like, well, we can just take it in, we can take it out, and we can, change it however we want because it's there when we want it, and it's not when we don't.
Yeah, just blame it on the multiverse. I will say I think they're kind of getting rid of that. Hey, once you have time travel, this is always going to be a thing aspect with this
I know they will.
Madness movie.
Yeah.
Because they're saying like even in the trailers, they're like, hey, you can't change time. You can't mess with time. You're going to fuck up the whole everything. And then in this Multiverse of Madness movie, you're seeing time manipulation screwing up everything, right? So
right.
I think after they resolve the conflict of that movie, that'll be like, all right, no more fucking time travel ever. You know what I mean?
Well,
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to go into spoiler territory, but I mean, as you can tell, my favorite book's Weapon X, for sake. So I mean, obviously, I've read some, but you've got the Time Council,
right?
And I think we've seen that in the trailer, and I think that's going to play a large part into the shutting down time travel. This is it, which I thought was really cool how they incorporated that with the Loki. Especially when they go back. Sorry if spoilers, but I think we're past the deadline. I think we're past the deadline of spoilers. But how it changed everything, in Loki's world from what they did, and all the statues and everything changed. I really, really thought that was pretty cool. So
agreed.
Time travel has always been awesome to watch when it's a one-off. Like one of the best series that X-Men ever came out with was Age of Apocalypse. Oh,
that's cool.
Oh my God. And that was all based around time travel.
Yep.
Charles's son went back in time, went to kill Magneto, accidentally killed his own father, and created Age of Apocalypse. And it was one of the best one-off series. But once again, it was a one-off. We had our great stories. It got resolved and everything went back to normal. So it was cool because it was a one-off. It's when it lingers into a story too much where they always have that easy out.
I think a really cool comic, and actually they made it into an animated movie later, but the Flashpoint series for the Flash or Flashpoint storyline.
Right.
I never saw it.
Really? You should watch at least the animated movie because it's the big plot point for the CW show, and also I think it'll be what they're basing the new Flash movie around. Also,
what are they going to do with the Flash? And I don't know where they actually stand with the whole league right now, because I know the movies have not done exactly great. But
I feel like they're in a lot. Like I feel like they're rebalancing maybe now, because Aquaman was a success.
Wonder Woman was a success.
Wonder Woman was a success. The new Batman's a success.
Yeah.
Like Dark Knight and the one with Bane, I forget the name of it. Even
Rise Again or
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and then the other one too. Even Batman Begins was good, but I feel like the DC is almost like recharging and finding their path, and I hope they do, because they have
Batman versus Superman was terrible, and the first cut of Justice League was terrible too.
Yeah, but I think
we just real quick show some absolute mad respect to Tom Hardy. I mean, you brought up Bane, but my God, is that man like just the absolute best? Venom. Yeah. I know a lot of people didn't care for Venom because for whatever reason. Tom
Hardy's fault though.
No, but damn, can he fucking act? Like this man, once again, I'm going way off course here from DC to just Tom Hardy, but he played Bane, he's played Venom, he's done some absolutely stellar roles, and just watching that transformation, always admired. One of my favorite for sure.
He's great in Peaky Blinders also.
And what?
In Peaky Timeout. Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
if anytime my son actually got me into the show, and anytime somebody asks me to recommend him a show, I say start season 1, episode 2, Peaky Blinders. Episode 1 almost like put me off the show because it was just so like mundane for it just didn't grab. But episode 2 and on, it's so beautiful. It's such a great program. Such a great.
Agreed.
It's kind of like the Sherlock. It's one of those that everybody should watch, and yet so many people haven't. I don't get how people have overlooked Benedict
Cumberbatch.
Insert name of something that, sounds familiar to it, and you know who I'm talking about. And it's absolutely phenomenal.
One more sidebar on a sidebar. Okay, if
sidebar of a sidebar of a sidebar.
It's sidebar. It's sidebarception. But speaking of shows that people can skip by, like, have either of you seen The Bodyguard, or maybe just called Bodyguard on Netflix?
I really thought you were going with
when you say The Bodyguard, I think
that's
Whitney
Whitney Houston.
I know. Yeah, I think it's just called Bodyguard. But it's starring the guy who plays Rob Stark, and also who's the lead in Eternals.
No.
Well, there's a lead in Eternals?
Well, Icarus in Eternals.
Oh, so I watched that movie.
I tried watching that movie.
I was just going to say, I watched about 45 minutes and I was just like,
I fell asleep so many times, and I was awake when I started it. I was not tired. It's like the NASCAR of Marvel movies.
Yeah,
like it is going to put it. It is going around in circles for hours, and nothing exciting is happening. Occasionally, there's a wreck, and you're like,
shit!
And then it's right back to doing circles again. I'm like, well, that was something that happened, but yeah, I have no idea. It was so bad.
That is a fantastic way to explain the Eternals watching experience, because that's exactly how I felt. I'm like,
they need to just put that on the label, the NASCAR Marvel. Here we go.
There were some cool plot points, and like the storyboards would have been good to read.
I think looking at the storyboard would have been more entertaining. Just all these Post-its plastered everywhere. Like, no, we're gonna make this work. Like that dude in the meme, like cigarette hanging out his mouth, just.
Charlie Day from Always Sunny.
Yep. You know it.
God. Where was I going with that? Anyways, that show Bodyguard is good. Now to bring it all the way back, out of all four stages of the dream, sidebarception.
Still talking about the Flash.
Oh yeah, well I can finish that thought. But the Flash. the Flash is. I'll just give you the quick version of the Flashpoint, because I know you're not going to go read it, Marcus. Are you familiar with it?
I like how you said the quick version of the Flash. Like, I don't know if that was on purpose, but I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
Pun not intended.
Oh, damn it.
So basically, the Flashpoint plot is Barry Allen is the Flash. He's established as the Flash. He goes his dad is in prison for the murder of his mom, and he's wrongly accused. So someone killed his mom. They don't know who. When he was a little kid, Barry was a little kid. He goes back in time to try and stop the murder of his mom.
He goes back in time again by how? Running so fast.
Yeah, it's running so fast in place that he like. I mean, I saw one version where it's like he used a cosmic treadmill to get up to speed, and then another version where like that was Superman that ran like. Flew the opposite direction of the Earth or something.
Yeah, he flew the opposite Earth to save Lois. But
yes,
I guess they didn't watch science. But anyways,
yeah, Barry just like runs so fast he goes back in time. But he goes back in time and realizes that somebody deliberately killed his mom, and it was this character called the Reverse Flash. Very creative naming there from DC, but instead of a red suit with yellow accents, he's got a yellow suit with red accents. But he's the dude who kills Barry's mom, and then the Reverse Flash stops adult Barry from doing it also. And then Barry goes back to the future, and things are all screwed up, and now the Reverse Flash is running amok, and he has to solve that problem too. But it's a really cool story, and in this movie, the whole Flashpoint thing is going to happen because Barry, obviously, in the Snyder Cut of Justice League, goes back in time, and it's set up fairly similarly. So, this next movie for the Flash, in some of the trailers, you can see that there's two different versions of Barry in it. So, like, there's some sort of present Barry and then a past Barry or something like that, where he's got like different hair lengths and stuff. So.
I'm just sick of it. Like, I'm sick of like the time travel. Like I feel like now I just feel like, okay, now DC has to copy Marvel because now we need the Bizarros and all that shit. And like,
but you can't really say it's copying this one because of movie when both have had it like buried in their comic.
Of course. I just feel like
right.
Marvel, I mean, DC is just playing catch up to Marvel. Like, okay, we saw what Marvel did. Let's copy that, and we can create some good movies and make everything connected. But I feel like it's not happening organically. They're forcing it down your throat.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just burnt out on that storyline. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're just burnt out. I mean, there is a little bit of it.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
which how and I'm definitely still on board. I am going to go watch Thor: Love and Thunder. I am going
me
to
too.
watch Guardians of the Galaxy. I am going to watch Multiverse of Madness. I know, but the fact that people aren't burnt out on that superhero genre is just mind blowing in itself. The fact that they can keep creating, these movies that keep people interested in showing up. So, that in itself is amazing.
But
I'm wearing a Moon Knight shirt right now,
Right. So here's something else. I didn't see anything in Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm not saying I'm not going to see it, but I didn't see anything in that trailer that makes me scream, I want to go.
I'm glad they did that way.
Yeah, me too.
I am
I'd rather
so over movie trailers hitting
Showing
every
everything.
major plot point to where I get in there and I can pretty much, okay, well, I've seen this in the trailer, which means I know this is going to happen,
Right.
and it takes away from that magic. I've never been a fan of the overtelling. I understand it's marketing. They want to get people hyped for it. But I feel like this trailer, unlike most, was just enough, because they showed the scene of, a lot of people think it's some huge ice monster. But if you read the comics, it's actually one of Thor's close friends.
Right, that's a god, right?
Yeah, he's a god. And then you've got this sneaky little preview of Thor or Zeus. There's just enough there to be like, what the hell? I've got to find out what's going on. You
got Greek gods. You've got Jane, whose last name I'm forgetting now, as the mighty Thor.
Here's the best part. Here's the best part. If we're introducing Zeus, that means we get Hercules, and we've already got somebody that played Hercules once before, baby. We're getting Dwayne Johnson. Calling it here on the podcast. We're getting Dwayne Johnson in Marvel.
Oh my god!
I don't know.
We've already got him going to DC for Black Adam.
Black
right?
Adam.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Marcus, you're channeling your inner Storm and Norman right now.
We've got so many actors that are double dipping their toes, and from DC to Marvel, and they're doing a great job. I mean, hell, you've got who the hell is it? Damn it, Thanos. Thanos, and he played Cable.
Oh, Josh Brolin.
Yeah, same universe.
Mm-hmm.
My man didn't even leave.
Right. He just looks the same. But yeah, Marcus, you're just being a grumpy grandpa. There's some
No. I guess for me, I think I'm just burnt out on the superhero movies. Like, I'm gonna watch the movies because I'm excited for the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
You have to be. Oh, Doctor Strange is so just, I mean, I will say, sorry, I hate to interrupt. I am so sorry on that. But what they did to our girl Wanda is fucking, pardon my language, blasphemy.
What do you mean?
Oh my God. In the movies, she is like throwing pebbles. She can alter the entire world.
But she was young Wanda then. She didn't realize it then. That's the way I'm looking at the movies.
I get that. Yeah. And then at the end of WandaVision, where her astral form, once again, hashtag no spoilers. But anyways, you could definitely tell she is opening that up. But it was just, I don't know. We'll see where they take my girl. But no, my respect for Scarlet Witch has always been just absolutely uncanny with her abilities. They made an amazing character. The fact that they made her like, what was it, non-mutant, and what was it? Wasn't she?
She's I think she's kind of mutant-y. Like she's got experimented on and then got exposed to the power of like the Mind Stone, and that like awoke her powers.
Still want to see how they're going to tie in their dad. Let's see how they get that one going.
But what I'm saying is, I think I've just seen so much that nothing has brought me in to go, oh, I want to. And what I was going to say about Doctor Strange is not one of my favorite
Characters.
And
he's my number one favorite.
Well, no, I know that, but that's what I mean. And that's what's awesome about it. But like, all I hear when I hear Multiverse of Madness is there's going to be zero canon from this point forward, because they're going to just be able to go, like, because even going through Loki, there's just going to be branching timelines everywhere. So now they're going to be able to make 50 different Captain America movies, and they're all going to be set in different timelines. Like, I foresee a Captain Carter from the animated one.
What if?
The What If. I foresee that movie's coming. I know it is.
She's going to be in Multiverse of Madness.
Right, but then she's going to get her own side branch movie.
I don't think so.
They did a lot with her in What If.
I might eat my words on that one, but I don't think that they're going to push it to that level. If they were to do anything, they would pull characters from the different multiverse and bring them into the main MCU storyline.
Or they do a run-off seasonal show. Well, right, one season of it, because I feel like the shows are better than the movies anyways.
Really?
Well, yeah.
100%.
I mean, I like that. I think that format is better for storytelling.
I thought you were just meaning like in general
No, well, see, like Marvel's different because the shows are very good. Obviously, WandaVision and Loki are fantastic, but like,
what were your thoughts on Hawkeye?
It was fantastic. Loved it.
It was very solid. Yeah, it's tough. I feel like it's tough to compare because it's like street level, like stakes versus like, universal level stakes.
Oh, I got you completely.
Like Loki,
dude, the Kingpin. Oh wow, whew.
I love seeing Kingpin in that.
Man, did not see that coming. See that coming. That was probably one of the coolest. I see what you did there. Yeah, that was awesome.
I don't see that coming.
There you go.
Because the ending.
Oh yeah, I'm here for it. You like that?
Yes, I did.
You're welcome.
I appreciated the pun. What was I going to say? Yeah, prefer the shows, but the movies are different because they're like
grand scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, do we want to circle back?
Yes.
To bring it all the way back. Want to start with an easy question?
Are you asking me if I want an easy question?
I think so.
Oh,
well, it's not easy, but it tells us a lot about your character and like your personality and like if you're a real human or secretly a reptile living among us. So, what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookie dough.
Oh, thank God we got a regular human for a guest this week.
Oh, you got to go with cookie dough. Oh man, like Dairy Queen has what's called a cookie jar. It's cookie dough with Oreo.
Whoa.
I don't know if that's everywhere, but dude, it goes harder than it should. You know what I mean? It goes harder than it should.
Yes.
You'll mixing those two together, man. That's life changing.
We've had a couple guests say pistachio, and it's just terrible.
Isn't that a peanut?
Yes.
Yeah. Like
exactly. Thank you.
What do you mean?
So the expensive peanuts is an ice cream?
Yeah.
I grew up poor, so I mean, there's a lot of things I'm still learning to this day. So I mean,
so it's like a teal green colored ice cream. It's terrible.
It's just terrible.
I mean, I went to a fancy hotel, down in Florida, and they had the weirdest water fountain in the bathroom. But
I think that's just a sink.
That's called it was a bidet joke. But anyways, let's go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Anyways,
I needed more context. But
weird water fountain in
the in the toilet.
Yes. Wow.
I would have clarified. I would have got it.
I know we touched on it a little bit, but I really want to know what made you ever want to become a help streamer?
Because there was a time when I knew what it was like to not have that. To be a solo player, I see all these YouTube videos of people acquiring this amazing loot, these amazing exotics, getting this, the look on their face for getting that first W, and I knew what it was like to not have somebody I could, call out to and get help. And once again, I got to give all my love and respect to Deagle. I bumped into him early on, and he helped me with my first ever raid. It was Crota. He then took me back to Vault of Glass, and we just randomly started picking up people along the way, and it just changed everything. And we became this dynamic duo that was on a mission to help as many people as we could. And, he and I, and we're talking D1, this is where we met, Crota days. And he and I, we're still close friends to this day. We're actually going to go see Letterkenny live next week.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
I mean, he's just one of the best, most wholesome, down to earth people. And whether he knows it or not, I know I wouldn't be where I am today if he wouldn't have, grabbed my hand and said, "Let's go get this raid clear. I got you, man." And that changed everything for me. So that definitely set me on my path of doing helps.
I don't think that could ever get a better answer than that.
Agreed. What are your goals for stream?
None. This was never supposed to be what it is now, if that makes sense. It's not that I'm not ambitious. It's not that I don't want to achieve as much as I can. I wake up every day and I ask myself, what do I want to get done today? But when it comes to streaming, I went against the numbers to begin with. I'm a middle-aged man. I just became a grandfather. I've only been streaming for 2 years, and we hit partners 6 months ago.
Wow.
There is nothing about what I do or what I've done that should have put me in a position that I'm in. And so every day, every stream, I'm just thankful that I still have a button that I can press go live and that I can count on people to show up, that I could put a smile on their face. So people always ask, they're like, "So where do you see yourself in 5 years when it comes to streaming and stuff like that?" And I'm partnered with Rogue. We have sponsorships. We have, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the only thing that really drives it home is my goal is my next stream. I want to make one person smile. And I keep it that simple, because if I sat back and thought, "Oh my God, we're up to this many followers, we hit partner, we've got this many sponsors." If I actually sat back and thought about that, I'm afraid that it would change who I am. And I don't ever want that. I want to keep it as modest and as simple as I want to make one person smile today. And if I make one person smile, my day is here.
It's fucking wholesome, man.
Yeah.
What is your favorite stream moment?
God.
It's hard to pick, right?
No, it instantly brought up a memory, and as of right now, that one kind of hurts. So, oh, all right. I gotta put that one back in the closet, because that one hurts a little bit. But anyways, we'll go with second. Okay. Second favorite stream moment is I believe the kid, his dad came in and said, "Do you guys have like an age limit?" I said, "Well, first, we can't ask for age on Twitch. It's, against TOS, stuff like that." I said, "But no, we help anybody and everybody." And come to find out, his dad came on later and said the kid was 8 years old. We did Scourge of the Past and Destiny 2. The kid got Anarchy, and he just popped off, random as could be. He goes, "Oh baby, we're gamers," and that slogan has stayed with the channel since that day, and I will never forget it. It was so pure, and his dad was so happy for him. The kid was ecstatic, but the dad, and knowing that he had a safe place, he could take his child. It is one thing that we play with teenagers and dads and grandfathers, but when you have a dad that trusts in a community to take care of his kid,
I know.
You know what that fucking does to somebody? I'm getting a little fucking choked up, but to know that to know that we were trusted in that aspect, video game or not, a father trusted us with his kid to take care of him, and we did. And the kid was happy, the father was happy, and that's definitely up there for sure.
Is there a clip of that saved to your channel?
I know we've got a clip of it because it was recently used when I was talking about earlier about my community goes a little bit crazy when it comes to anniversaries and things like that. I think it was a partner thing. A lot of people from the community put together this amazing video about what the community means to them. I cried, dude. I'm not too much of a man to say I didn't. I did. I cried ugly tears. But a bunch of people from the community put together this video about what the community means to them, and how it's changed their lives for the better. And they all ended it by thanking me, which I can't handle that well. But anyways, in that clip, somebody found that clip and they put it in there, so it definitely exists. And if you'd like a copy of it, I'll definitely I'll make.
Well, I'm sure it's on your channel. I can dig it up.
Yeah,
it was phenomenal, man. But yeah, that kid he was one of a kind.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the best. Like just making someone.
But to
like
go
that,
from 8
totally get it.
to 87 years old, we've had an 87-year-old man come in, and he got Terrorball with us.
What?
Wow.
Crown of Sorrow. It was a community member's dad, and he was one of the best. Always in the channel, always vibing out, and he had me take his dad through. 87 years old, I believe it was. And dude, you want to talk about just a salt of the earth? This man has seen some shit. He has lived his life, and he was just so human. He didn't give a shit. And it was great because he was happy and he was just doing it for him, and to have that's goals right there. Not a yacht, not a mansion, to just have that mindset that he did.
Mm-hmm.
That's life.
Wow.
Hell yeah. I was right. I'm left speechless.
Me too. Holy shit. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
That would be twitch.tv/Free Ride Games, one word. Free Ride Games, one word.
Fuck, man.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
What an amazing episode. Thank you.
This has been an honor, boys. An absolute honor. Marcus, like I said, my utmost respect to you. You earned it the second we met. And I feel blessed to have you in my life, brother. Seeing you in chat and seeing my chat get excited that you showed up, it means the world to me. And definitely hope to do a lot more runs with you. And maybe put a smile on your face occasionally too, huh?
Hey, well, just so you know, I would say 99.9% of my life is smiling. My favorite quote, and I don't even know if it's a quote, maybe I made it myself, but smiling is a pathway to happiness. And I live by those words.
And something a lot of people need to know is you don't need to be happy to smile.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.